What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Nice Catch Podcast. We're here to catch you up on all the latest football news and analysis. I'm Baden.
And I'm Hank. Today, we're discussing and sharing our takes on the beginning of the NFL and college football season.
Woo. Let's go.
This is our first episode that we've done. Well, besides like the 3 games for before last time. It's actually during the season.
Yeah.
This is fun.
First season episode.
Yeah. You know, we don't have to do, like during the summer, hypothetical NFL expansion, which I love. But right now, there's no shortage of stuff. To start off, we're going to cover some headlines because that's what, the headlines are. Well, obviously they're called headlines. It's what the important stuff are. You open the NFL app or the ESPN app, is what you're going to see. And so we'll touch on that, but they're easy to find in other places, so we won't focus on this. I have some new stuff that we're starting out this episode that I'm really excited for. We'll get to a top 10 and bottom 10. It's, kind of Sports Center style, but nice catch twist to it. Fantasy stuff. Oh, yeah, love that. I lost in both my leagues earlier this week. Baden, how'd you do?
I'm in 3. I won 2, and I lost 1.
Nice.
I lost the family one, though, to my older brother. So that was a tough, and it was a bad loss, too. I think I lost by almost 100 points. Over 100, I lost by 120 points, actually.
Except you have the points up, but still.
Yes,
That's crazy.
We do have the points up.
You start Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Yes, sir, I did.
Yep. Start Raheem Mostert?
No, but do you know who I did start? Christian McCaffrey.
Oh.
Christian McCaffrey and Marvin Harrison.
Wow.
So I was not set up for success. My brother had the majority of the Ravens offense. Which I was gifted with the Ravens defense. So that also really helped me. Yeah. Not my finest moment, but hey, a lot of season left.
Yeah. The worst part about my 2 losses is that they were both to my brother. So Tucker, if you're listening, good job. You beat me.
Yep.
So, maybe if y'all go back and watch the Fantasy Football Takes episode, you can give Tucker a round of applause because his takes were apparently better than mine.
Pretty
but
accurate.
I will say I was the only person with Saquon in my top 5.
Hey.
And I may have underranked him. But before we get off track, let's jump in to some headlines.
All right.
And let's start with something that was a big headline throughout the summer going into the season with these new rules, which are guardian caps and kickoffs. Let's start with the one that was foreseen to be more controversial. That was the guardian caps.
Yeah.
But I think that they're not a controversial thing anymore.
No.
You don't look on the field and see an ugly covering of a helmet.
No.
What people look and see is more safety, because several players wore them this past week. And there wasn't any uproar that I heard. No, for me, at the beginning when I heard about them, when I, saw the rule of players being able to wear them, one of my thoughts was I thought, like you were saying, it'd look ugly. And we talked about it in the podcast that, we were hoping they'd put the symbol, they'd make it look cool and make it go with the helmet. And they did. And I thought they looked fine. And the other thing is, I just thought, oh, it's dumb, people are going to make fun of. And I still thought that up until, I can't remember who it was, but somebody in an interview, he was saying he was going to wear a guardian cap. And he said, this isn't a direct quote, but it was something like, I want to be able to remember my kids' first steps. I want to be able to remember my first dance with my wife. He was like, it's about much more than looking cool. It's about, my family or something like that. It was really deep and really true. And I was like, you know what? He has a major point there. And so I'm all after that very heartfelt interview. I'm all for the guardian caps. Awesome.
And the biggest thing, they didn't look ugly. They looked fine. They had the emblem or the symbol. They had all the right colors and stuff. I thought they looked fine. Didn't even really stick out to me as something odd.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I expected them to be normal at some point. I mean, the NFL's progressed towards safety so much recently.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at targeting rules. Targeting 10, 15 years ago, it's like, wait, that's a penalty and you get ejected from the game for it?
Just watch Cam Chancellor highlights.
Yeah, exactly. It's wild. So I didn't expect for guardian caps to become normal this quickly. And so I could see next 5 years that they mandate guardian caps.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem far-fetched to me anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that the players aren't making an uproar about this because it is a wise safety choice.
Yeah, for sure.
And as for the other rule change, we got the dynamic kickoff. And during the preseason, it got a lot of hate.
Yeah.
Reasonably, because
didn't really see much out of it.
It wasn't very dynamic, except for a few exceptions. But I think the regular season, as we expected, we talked about this in our last episode, the kickoffs worked better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there was many injuries, and we had one return for a touchdown.
We did have a return touchdown, which is, I think, what we wanted, entertainment there, and that's good.
So, yeah. It's, pun intended, more dynamic.
More dynamic. It's true.
So I like it.
Yeah, I don't have any is that a word? I don't have any negative feelings for it. I thought it was fun. It's just something different. It's an adjustment, like the first week watching the games and just being like, oh, this is different. But had the return touchdown, I thought it was fun. It's just change, just a different element. And, I don't have any problems with it.
Yeah. More safety and entertainment still.
And entertainment. Everything has to be a little bit different, which is good. It's not the same old just a touchback every play or, bringing it back to the 27 or the 32. You're seeing you're seeing a return, and it's just different, and I like it. I
like it too. I love the XFL. Well, originally XFL. I guess the UFL does normal kickoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Yes.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
They do. It was the XFL, and then when the UFL became one, they just reverted back to the normal ones.
But the NFL said we like it.
Yeah.
And next headline, let's talk about some injuries.
Oh,
and there's a lot for week 1.
A plethora.
No shortage of injuries. You probably are going to have some IR spots filled in your fantasy team. Already. Well, maybe not IR spots, but at least people on your bench injured.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest one, I think, is Jordan Love, who won't be on IR, but this is not good news.
No.
I predicted the Packers to make it to the Super Bowl. I still think it's plausible, but having this setback hurts their chances a lot.
Major setback.
Especially because some teams, you have a backup who's proven himself a winner. You look at the Bengals. Yeah. Last season, their backup, Jake Browning, proved that he can win games as a backup.
Mm-hmm.
And even like Cooper Rush for the Cowboys, you wouldn't think of him as someone you want starting a game, but he's proven that he can win. Gardner Minshew's a starter, but when he's been a backup, he's someone who you're not going to lose a ton of quality after losing your starter.
Yeah.
But I liked Malik Willis a lot coming out of college, but in the NFL, he has not proven that he can be a winner.
No, I wanted to really get behind him being from Liberty. Big, I did Liberty online for high school, and my sister went to Liberty, so I'm on the Liberty train. But him coming out and not really showing up, and then obviously watching him with the Titans, it was fun, kind of rooting for him, but he didn't really show much. And
Definitely.
So one thing we might talk about today is our Super Bowl picks, and also some of our predictions from the preseason. I think it definitely puts a wrench in my original prediction having Jordan Love out, even just for a couple games. Just the momentum. It's a momentum killer having your quarterback out. So hopefully he'll be able to get back at it soon, and be able to keep leading the team. But it's definitely the season has now changed for them.
For sure. Good news that he won't be on IR, but a player who will be going on IR is Puka Nacua. And this one
also on my fantasy team.
Ooh.
Yeah.
This one's really worrying to me because of his young career. Jordan Love, also has a young career, but he's been in the league long enough.
Yeah.
Because this is Puka Nacua's second year, I'm just praying for him that this doesn't ruin his career.
Because he showed not even promise. He was just good. He simply was amazing his first career. And
First
I think
year.
people were, or his first career, his first year. And I think people were so excited because now Cooper Kupp is, hopefully he played really well last. Cooper Kupp was back. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, that duo, and with Puka out, that's really hard. And so prayers for him that he'll still have a really good career and be able to come back from that. But the Rams in general,
Super Bowl contender. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, I mean, they'll have to get through some injuries. Did you see their entire offensive line? And that's a big,
not fun,
big thing.
But
last year with the Texans, that was a killer. Was all the offensive line injuries near the end of the season? It
hurts a team a lot.
It hurts a team a lot.
Need. As for other injuries, well, those are the main two. Just to add insult to injury, pun intended. Actually, it wasn't intended, but I realized it
But
after.
now that you said it, it is intended.
Now it's intended. Derek Brown, defensive tackle for the Panthers, out for the season. So I don't know, are the Panthers going to be a UFL team next season? But and then as for other injuries, Njoku being out, and then the Dolphins running back position, Mostert is out this Thursday. I mean, depending on when you're listening to this, we're releasing it a day before this game comes out.
Yep.
And so Mostert's out, and then Achane is a game time decision. And so
questionable.
Rookie Jalen Wright. Well,
might-
I don't. Do they still have Jeff Wilson?
I don't
remember.
Let me do some research.
But we can come back to that. But injuries already a lot for week 1. And depending on who your team is, it may be a long road. The Cowboys didn't have any big injuries except the Deron Bland preseason injury.
Yeah.
But for most of you listening, you probably are glad that the Cowboys aren't a Super Bowl contender this year, which is fine. I understand.
Yeah. I mean, the only other thing I can think of is Christian McCaffrey and the calf.
Yes,
that's not
that's
like
a good point. I don't know why I didn't write that down.
He didn't get injured in game. It's not but it is still.
It's an injury.
It's an injury, and I thought it was going to be more, I don't know if devastating is the right word, because the 49ers are a really well-rounded team, but I thought it was going to be really a really big chance, I'll say, for the whoever they played.
The Jets.
For the Jets, and man,
Jordan Mason.
He went off. He played so well. And so that, fantasy managers, I mean, depending on Christian McCaffrey's return, because obviously, you get Christian McCaffrey back, Jordan Mason is not going to get the same touches as he did his first game. But that could be a somebody to have on your bench, somebody to have your eye on, because man, he showed out. And I think if I saw correctly, he is 4th all time on the 49ers for the most yards as your first career game with them, something like that. I said that in a very complicated way, but I do think that Jordan Mason is ranked 4th on the all-time 49ers first rushing game yards. So, that was a good opportunity for him, and he really took advantage of it.
For sure.
But we're hoping that Christian McCaffrey can get back.
Definitely.
Full health. It's always been a problem, it seems.
As for our next section, some upsets. We only had one NFL week. So we had the Patriots beating the Bengals was the big one.
Yep.
Surprised me a lot. I was really lucky because a few hours before the game started, I switched my, ESPN Elimination League or whatever that was. I had it on the Bengals because the Panthers were awful. I expected them to be the worst team in the NFL.
Or not the Panthers, Patriots.
Patriots, thank you. But I was like, Jamar Chase may not play, whatever. So I switched it, which was very lucky because the Bengals didn't win.
Yeah.
But as for college, that's where all the crazy stuff was happening. Florida State losing again, dropping out of the top 25. I feel bad for Florida State fans, legitimately.
Yeah.
And then one that I liked a lot, I like seeing upsets to teams that I don't care about. Sorry, Notre Dame. But NIU beating Notre Dame, so much fun.
Yep.
I love that. Seeing their coach get emotional after the game, that's what it's about.
And then didn't Notre Dame get beat by A&M?
They beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame beat A&M.
Oh, okay.
So that was tough seeing a team that beat A&M lose to a MAC team. But, oh well. Those are the biggest upsets so far.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing crazy. Well, those are crazy. Nothing else too crazy. Florida State still blows my mind.
Yeah,
I don't know what their problem is.
Just falling apart. I mean, really. NFL, everything except for the Patriots went relatively how you would expect it. I would have had the Packers beating the Eagles, but that wasn't a major upset. It could have gone either way, and the Eagles just, snuck it out. Otherwise, no, I don't know. I mean, the Rams-Lions game was closer than I think people were imagining. I think people had the Lions coming out one way or another, and everyone thought it would be close. I knew it was going to be, or I knew. I thought it was going to be close, but I didn't think it would be that close.
Mm-hmm.
And the Rams, even through all the injuries, they played great.
Yeah.
And so I really think if they can get everybody back, everybody healthy, they can be a good playoff team. Really good playoff team.
Wild that they don't have a first-round pick for so long, and the Rams are still a top team.
Still a top team, yeah.
But as for other surprises, not a ton here because it kind of overlaps with other stuff I want to talk about. But the Vikings and Sam Darnold, it was against the Giants.
Yeah.
But still.
But yeah.
Showing a lot of promise there.
For sure.
The Saints and Derek Carr on the same note. It was the Panthers, but very similar situations
if you're scoring 47 points, you're scoring 47 points.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like Daniel Jones was on the defense. Everybody hates Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
They were playing an NFL defense.
They have a good defensive line, too. They have Dexter Lawrence. They have Brian Burns. But still, well done.
Sorry. I said Daniel Jones. I don't know why I said Bryce Young. I was mixing up the Panthers and the Giants.
True.
I said that the Saints scored 47 points on the Giants defense, and that indeed did not happen.
Maybe it will later this season.
Maybe probably.
And then a big surprise for me, I expected Boise State to be the Group of 5 conference champion to make it to the playoffs, but I'm throwing this out here now. How the playoffs work is the top 4 conference champions get week 1 byes. I could see Boise State getting one of those top 4 spots and pushing maybe the ACC champion or the Big 12 champion down.
All right.
Boise State almost beat Oregon.
Yeah.
Oregon. Well, I will say, I expected Oregon to be the number 1 team, and I don't hold on to that anymore because they barely beat FCS Idaho.
That's true.
But Boise State is looking really good, and I won't get too much on this train because I want to get on it more later in this episode.
For sure.
Follow my notes.
But yeah, that was big.
Okay, let's look back before we move on to fantasy on some of our predictions we've made. I have mine ranked in 3 main places on like things that look desperately wrong, things that like not looking great, and some that are perfect. I don't have all my predictions listed because I've said too much. But my only one in the looking desperately wrong, listeners, you probably can think of something else that I've said that's desperately wrong, but is Notre Dame. So I expected them to make it to the playoffs, and maybe they still will, but losing to a MAC team hurts your chances quite a bit.
Yeah, and like you said, both of us had Oregon as number 1, and that's definitely coming into question now. We had the blessing of having a game right before our last episode because both of us had Florida State, and now I guess that's dead on that we took them off the list because it's been proven that
they're not winners.
They're falling apart.
It's like Villanova basketball.
Yeah.
The next section, not great. I don't know, I could find a better title for that. But I'd say most of my takes fit in this not great section. Things that aren't terrible, but aren't perfect. I mean, my Clemson take on them getting that high in the playoffs, maybe it's right, but I don't know. It's not looking as good. Oregon being number 1. Kansas already lost a game to Illinois, and that annoyed me a lot because I was really high on that train. Oklahoma State almost losing to Arkansas, who I expected to be really bad. But maybe that's just because Arkansas is good.
Yeah, maybe.
And then I also throw Tyjae Spears and Keon Coleman in there because week 1 they weren't the stars that I expected them to be. But hey, there's time. There's a lot of time left in the season.
It's not time to throw those predictions away just yet.
No, don't drop Tyjae Spears or Keon Coleman. They have too much potential.
Oh, yeah.
Don't. Hold on to them, please.
Yeah. Hey, I'll say Anthony Richardson.
I drafted him.
I had, because, in the preseason, people were a little worried.
True.
He wasn't necessarily showing out, and I think it was our last episode, said, don't give up on him yet. And hey, first game, they didn't end up winning, which I'm happy
was
about.
The Texans,
because I'm the Texans fan, so I'm not mad about that. But man, he showed out. He played, and I think that Stroud versus Richardson, I think that's going to be
rivalry.
That's going to be a great rivalry. Hopefully for many, many more years to come. One that it's week 1, so I won't write it off just yet. But I was really excited for Bo Nix, and he had a rushing touchdown. But the passing, the leading the team offensive wise wasn't quite there like I saw in the preseason. It wasn't quite there. You're on a bigger stage. There's more pressure. You're not playing backups. You're playing all the starters, and people are ready to go. So it's a different feeling. But I'm not giving up on Bo Nix. I think that he's still got 17 weeks.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, he definitely didn't show up this first week like I was expecting him to. I'll definitely say that.
Yeah. As for perfect takes, I'm just going to throw my top 3, as I like to call perfect takes on here. Miami, they were a favorite to win the ACC, but I picked them over Florida State and over Clemson. And felt like it was a little hot take, but now I think they're the runaway favorite. Cam Ward is looking like a Heisman candidate. And so there we go. That's one. Ole Miss looking amazing. So far I'd say that's a perfect take. And Boise State.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
nailed that one.
NIU is another group of 5 team that could make it. I'm not ruling out Liberty, Memphis, any of those other top teams from the group of 5 yet. But perfect's too strong of a word. But
yeah, but
my takes are intact so far.
Yes, sir.
I'll go that far.
I guess I should have saved my Anthony Richardson one for that.
I'll give it to you.
Not perfect yet, but
so far
looking good. I like that take. I'm sticking with it. With it.
You want to move on to some fantasy stuff?
No. Yes. No, I don't want to.
Hey, I'm the one who lost both my fantasy games.
That's true. I don't have that. I can't complain that much. I had 2 good games.
Yeah.
I got the dubs.
I'm trying to find some creative names for these sections. The top 10, bottom 10 that we're going to get into is fun. But I have a little alliteration for this that I'm still working on. But right now, I have a buy the hype section, a beware the hype section. This is one that's, I don't really know. Break the hype, as in, don't believe it at all. Or, I don't know. And then something else. I have bet the fall right now. Or, whatever the opposite of hype is. But
for sure.
I don't have anyone to break the hype right now because it's only week 1, and I learned because last year I did not put in a waiver claim for Puka Nacua because I was like, week 1 wonder, it won't keep going. So that was not a good take. So that influences me being a little more open to receivers or not just receivers, players that had a much better week 1 than we expected. But as for the buy the hype section, these are players that maybe trade a lot for depending on how they're good or how good they played, or spend a lot on the waiver wire if it hasn't already gone through yet. But these 3 players, a lot of it's based on target share, or just the amount of runs that they had, because some players well, I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I'll talk about that next section. But my 3 players I have here, Isaiah Likely, Jaden Reed, Saquon Barkley, all at different levels. But Isaiah Likely had he had the second most targets of anyone in the NFL this week. Jaden Reed did a lot when he had the ball in his hands and still had, I think, 9 targets.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley looks like the next Christian McCaffrey. He finally has a good offensive line.
Finally.
I don't like the Eagles, but my Saquon take is going well.
Yeah, it is. I had him in one of my leagues. I can't complain.
Yeah, I played against him. I drafted Justin Jefferson ahead of him. So, even though I knew I shouldn't, I just didn't want to root for the Eagles. But,
sure.
I don't know. I need to soften my heart. You have any players you want to buy the hype on? Sorry, I kind of stole a lot of players here.
No. I think it was a rough week for tight ends other than Isaiah Likely. Really, I had the tight ends were having a rough time. You know who I would buy the hype into? All right, I'm going to say it. I've said it before. Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Number 2 ranked, right behind, I think Josh Allen, maybe. No, right behind Lamar Jackson this week. I think Lamar was number 1. And I think Baker is number 2, if I'm right. And so, yeah, I've been saying it. Baker Mayfield, I'm on the Baker train. And fantasy-wise, I would definitely have him on your roster, which is funny because 2 of the leagues that I'm in don't have him rostered, and so I'm on the Baker Mayfield train. That would probably be my biggest one. Otherwise, like I said, Mason.
Oh yeah,
it all depends on it depends on Christian McCaffrey's ability to come back and play well. Depends on his injury, but I'd stay on that train. Those are probably my biggest 2. I
like it. Those are some good buy the hype. I like that. Beware the hype. I have 1, 2, 3 on here. I didn't put 3. Those are the only 2 I have 3. I only have 1 on the next 2. But Xavier Worthy, I do think he'll be good, but he only had the ball 3 times that game. I think he had 2 catches and 1 run, and just so happened that 2 of those were touchdowns. But
it's not like he had 10 targets.
Yes, I do foresee that changing, seeing the dynamic playmaker that he is, but I wouldn't go all in on him right now. Mm-hmm. Second is Jaden Daniels. I do think he'll be a really good quarterback, but he probably won't have 2 rushing touchdowns every game. I don't expect him to finish the top 3 quarterback that he is right now. And third, Allen Lazard. I have him on the beware the hype instead of break the hype because he was Aaron Rodgers' leading receiver. Maybe they have some chemistry now, but I don't think he'll say the Jets number 1 when Garrett Wilson is the other wide receiver. Mm-hmm. But he's a good option. Have him on your bench if he's not picked up in your league yet.
For sure. I would say that for this is beware the hype.
Yes.
Stephon Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
He last year was so incredibly inconsistent. Or really, not inconsistent. The last half, he was pretty good the first half of the season, pretty terrible the last half of the season, fantasy-wise.
Yes.
So I'd be wary of that. He had a pretty good first week. Mm-hmm. I mean, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But they were, the first one was a 2-yard passing touchdown. And so I think he had 3 targets and 2 touchdowns. Or 3 receptions. I'm not exactly sure on that. I'm actually pulling up the stats now, so I'm not just... Okay, 6 targets, 6 receptions, only 33 yards, but 2 touchdowns. So that's going to bump up the fantasy points. But, I wouldn't... I'm not going to say that he's going to be just an absolute make or break on your fantasy team. So I'd beware that. Otherwise, I don't really think. I think you covered it pretty well.
There's a lot of fantasy players. It's hard to cover everything, think of everything. I don't have anyone to break the hype. You have anyone? Just someone you
No one in particular, I don't think.
Yeah. It's week 1. It's hard to know.
Yeah.
But someone that I'm not going to drop in fantasy, but who I would definitely consider not starting. I don't know. This is a hot take, and I didn't think about this much, but I'm just going to say it. Mark Andrews.
I was literally... It's
telepathy at this point. I don't even know. But he didn't have a good first game. Isaiah Likely had way more targets, yards, touchdowns. Should have had another one.
They were using him as a blocking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he blocked. He knocked over George Karlaftis. And I don't want Mark Andrews to fall off like this, but Isaiah Likely has a good chance to take over the tight end 1 spot for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
So if you have someone, oh man, the like Dalton Schultz. Well, I see Dalton Schultz higher than most people do. The other tight ends that I see close to him are both injured. Jake Ferguson, David Njoku, someone around that range. I'd consider starting him above Mark Andrews.
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't drop Mark Andrews, but consider not starting him is where I would rank this.
That's an injury I don't think we brought up. Did we bring up Ferguson?
We didn't, but he is a good chance to play.
Okay.
Still not 100%. But, hey, McCaffrey had a good chance to play.
That's true. Sorry. Yeah.
So, no, that's good.
For the conversation, when you said that brought up I started thinking about it.
No, that's good. Yeah, we got to cover all the injuries.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, that's a good one that I missed on.
Yeah, but, I mean, just fantasy-wise, it really was, while we're on the topic of Mark Andrew, it was a rough week for tight ends.
All over the board.
I mean, Brock Bowers was number 3, I think.
Really?
Yeah, and he had 8 points.
Wow.
And I'm going to fact check myself there, but I mean, other than Isaiah Likely, I don't think there were many points that were put up. And Brock Bowers, 8.7 points, ranked 3rd. Yeah.
Wow. I had Dalton Schultz. It's now questionable, so that's fun. He got less than 5 points, so that's fun.
Oh, yeah, I didn't start Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers was on my bench. I started Evan Ingram, who got 1.7.
Very bad game.
Yeah, 1.7 points.
To everyone who's in the league with Baden and I don't know how y'all let me, when I was 12th on the waiver wire, pick up Isaiah Likely. I dropped to Jatavian Sanders to pick up Isaiah Likely.
Seriously?
And I was 12th on the waiver wire. I think I legitimately had the Chargers defense above my request for Isaiah Likely because I just didn't think it was going to happen. But someone else was like, I want the Chargers defense. And so that claim didn't go through. But I now have the number 1 tight end, of week 1. So, but I'm buying the hype on him.
For sure.
So, league mates, thank you very much for when I burn you with Isaiah Likely.
Yeah, I guess that was not a great move. I'm still you know what? I'm confident in Sam Laporta.
I am very confident.
Not a great first game. I mean, not a terrible first game, but not nothing crazy. 8.5 points. But yeah, I'm confident in him. I will say though, I had a good first week in the league with you, Hank, but with Puka Nacua out, it puts my receiving core at a hit because my receivers, other than Puka, did not perform.
Who are your other 2 receivers?
DJ Moore, Cortland Sutton. That's the other 2 that I had started that time. I just picked up Lazard.
Okay.
And I got Keenan Allen.
Yeah. You got 2 Bears receivers?
Yeah, see, I didn't think about that when I first got it. And then I got Darnell Mooney and Christian Watson. So I got a lot of receivers.
I just saw that you picked up Darnell Mooney.
Because I'm just not that confident. Yeah, I picked up Darnell Mooney because I didn't have to put a waiver or anything because Puka, I just put him on injury reserve. So I figured I'd just fill a spot. I should have got a running back, though, looking at my team. But anyways.
It's fine.
Yeah.
You want to move to our top 10? Try to start a trend with this?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
the Nice Catch top 10.
Ow, sorry.
We can just, name that now. There's already the Sports Center top 10, but this is, just something else. And this is, anything. you'll see the variation. It can be a player, a team, a situation, a storyline, any of it. Just our top 10. And I have 5, Baden has 5. We can go back and forth till we get to number 1, and then we'll go to bottom 10. And that one will be really, really fun. But for top 10, you have your list pulled up?
I have my list pulled up.
Great. I'll start so I can give you the number 1 spot. We'll go that direction here.
All right.
Number 10, I got Cam Ward. Mm-hmm. My boy's looking like a Heisman candidate. I don't know why I said boy. He's older than me. my man is looking like a Heisman candidate. As I predicted, kind of bold, well, relatively boldly. He's playing really well. Looking like a great athlete. Looking like a first-round pick.
For sure. All right, so I have number
9.
8. I have number 9. Number 9, sorry. It's been a long day of school.
It has been a long day of school.
My number 8, I'm going to say this was something personal for me. Which sounds bad, doing a football podcast, but I, going to college, did not have a way of watching football. I thought I did, but it was only giving me 1 game a week. And I was so incredibly dived into the depths of depression, and then my dad gave me his YouTube TV password that had Sunday Ticket on it, so I'm able to watch football. So that is, considering this week all the football stuff that's happened with me, getting YouTube TV, that is my number 9.
I like
to
it.
Add to the list.
Yeah, and
that benefits us all.
Definitely. Shout out my dad for giving me his YouTube TV password too, because my weekends, my first couple weekends of college have consisted of watching football on my phone or computer, and then doing homework on either my phone or computer, whichever one I'm not using. Or sometimes I'll have like a football game open in one tab of my computer, and then be writing a paper in the other tab. But it's good stuff. That's what.
Hey, you got to get it done.
Makes it good. Yeah. Number 8. Got Anthony Richardson's throw. That throw, well, okay, I'm going to, just with this, because it's also a throw in Matthew Stafford's no-look pass while getting sacked. I don't know how either of them did that.
Yeah.
I think I did a very unprofessional calculation of Anthony Richardson's throw. I'm pretty sure that was 65 air yards.
It was at least 65 air yards.
Wild. Like slips, almost fell over, and just like, you know what, I'm going to throw this. Well, okay, also throw that, no pun intended. C.J. Stroud's throw from his knees. Just quarterbacks making wild throws. Well, change number 8 to just that in general, because we got 3 throw of the year candidates.
Yeah.
Already in week 1.
In week 1. 2 of them in the same game.
True, I didn't even think about that.
That's what I'm saying, those young... C.J. Stroud and Anthony Richardson, that's going to be so fun.
That quarterback class. Well, sorry, Bryce Young. But the number 2 and 4 overall picks, looking good so far. Even though this is only Anthony Richardson's 3rd career college or NFL game. 18th start since high school.
18th start since high school, which is crazy.
Wild.
All right,
number 7.
At 7, I'm going to put Ricky, I don't want to botch his last name, but Pearsall.
I think so.
Being able to be at the game, I thought that was awesome. Coming off of being shot, getting mugged, getting shot, and then still being at the weight room 2 days later is awesome. But being able to come to the game and support, giving his the 2 first responders the jersey and the helmet and the footballs and stuff, I thought that was awesome. That was, just really happy for him. We'll keep him in our prayers, but also I thought that was a really cool moment.
Yeah, so. Definitely showed the guy that he is.
And showed the character.
Yeah, I'm not a 49ers fan, but it makes me want to root for him. Yeah. How he handled all that.
That's what the 49ers do to you. Even if you're not a 49ers fan, even if there's some rivalry, just the quality of the players, at least Purdy a lot of them, Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Ricky Pearsall, gotta love them.
Gotta love them. Number 6, I got resurging veteran quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Derek Carr and Sam Darnold as of week 1 are the best 2 quarterbacks in the NFL. Obviously, it won't stay that way, but it's just fun to be able to say that.
Yeah.
What?
For sure.
This blew my mind that two of the best looking teams in the NFL are quarterbacked by people who, Sam Darnold is, he's kind of a veteran quarterback. Derek Carr is an old veteran out there.
Yeah.
And both of them were not supposed to have good years. And they both are way outperforming any projections they have. Granted, it was against bad teams. But Derek Carr and Sam Darnold, best quarterbacks in the NFL as of right now.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what are you? Number 5?
I should be number 5.
Okay, cool.
Number 5, I'm going to put, and this has a lot of weight here with us due to it being at Ouachita in Arkansas, was the OSU versus Arkansas game. For me this week, being able to hear I was doing homework. I watched that game in and out, but I wasn't following it super closely. But hearing the highs and lows of that game through the Ouachita dorm hallway was beautiful. Because every not even 5 minutes, every 30 seconds you'd hear, "Oh, no, yes!" Just whether, missed field goals, overtime, touchdowns, just people screaming through the hallway. And then eventually I just heard pretty much one resounding just yell of defeat. And it was just hilarious. That was one of the highlights of my Saturday, was just getting the full experience of that game without even watching it.
Yeah.
It's just great.
Kind of understand what it feels like to be an Arkansas fan now.
Yeah. Now that we're here, I'm realizing how tough it is.
Yeah. That was I watched most of that. I don't know, half of that game and it was crazy. I did not expect Arkansas to make it a game. Especially, I was surprised that OSU didn't run the ball with debatably the best running back in college that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a top 10 worthy game for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, I have North Illinois University knocking off number 5 Notre Dame. Amazing story. I already mentioned it. Seeing their coach get emotional, makes me want to get behind them. And puts them at contender to be a playoff team, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But NIU, number 4 on the Nice Catch top 10.
Yes, sir. All right, number 3, I'm going to go Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley coming in, or actually, I feel like I have to go with it now because, you know what?
You already said it.
I already said it, so I'm going with Saquon Barkley at number 3. Just coming in, I think the fact that he scored more touchdowns in his first game as an Eagle than Daniel Jones has in the last 4 seasons? Two seasons?
2 seasons. This season and last season.
2 seasons with the Giants is it's just beautiful.
Only the Giants.
It's hilarious, and I'm happy. I used to, before games, watch 3 highlight videos. Cam Chancellor, and then I would watch Christian McCaffrey highlights and Saquon Barkley highlights. And Saquon Barkley, he's just always been such a, I don't know if passionate runner makes sense, but he just goes at it. He goes after it, and he just has not had the opportunities, just not having a good offense to work around him, to work with him. And now on the Eagles, he showed what he can do when he has support behind him, or in front of him, technically, with the offensive line.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was awesome. I was super happy for him. Also, I don't not like the Eagles, but I'm not an Eagles fan, But I can't not be happy for Saquon Barkley. He just showed out, and I really enjoyed watching him.
Yeah. Number 2, I have Ashton Jeanty, who I need to look up his specific stats right now. He is averaging, he is, for those of you who don't know, Boise State's running back. He is averaging over 10 yards per carry, and he is the main reason in my mind why Boise State is favored to make the playoffs. They're huge playoff contenders at this point. They almost beat Oregon, who I predicted to be the number 1 team overall in college football. Now, I'm not holding on to that anymore. But here's his 2024 regular season stats through 2 games. 45 carries, 459 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 10.2 yards per carry.
Oh, my God.
Let's see. Let me pull up college football stats overall and see how that compares to just the rest of college football. Use stats. Rushing, 459 yards. Second place, 373 yards at Rutgers. Let's look at
almost 100 more yards.
Almost 100 more. As for touchdowns, second place in rushing touchdowns is Harvey at UCF with 6.
So
He's 3 above.
Touchdowns.
As for average yards per carry, okay, I can't do that because it's most of the people with 1 attempt.
Oh, that's true. That's not a fair representation.
And his longest rush of the season, Oh, I lost it. 77 yards.
Oh, gosh.
And as for attempts, he's second in the country, tied with Ollie Gordon for attempts. But if you compare him with Ollie Gordon, who is projected to be a Heisman candidate, Ashton Jeanty, 10.2 yards per carry. Ollie Gordon, 3.9 yards per carry. Ashton Jeanty is now, in my mind, a top 3 Heisman candidate. He's carrying Boise State, and I love Boise State. They're so cool. The blue field. I've seen I saw the field. There was snow on it, so I didn't see it, actually. But I saw the stadium. But Ashton Jeanty, number 2. Nice catch, top 10.
All right. Saquon arguably could have been the number 1, but this is the order that I went in, and so now I'm going to put a lot of hype behind it because this is what we're doing.
I'm sticking
with it. Baker Mayfield, number 1.
Congratulations, Baker Mayfield. You are number 1 on the Nice Catch top 10.
Yep. I don't know if you'll ever have a higher achievement than what you've just received from us. But look, now it was against the Commanders, okay? It wasn't against...
Dan Quinn is their coach now, so
that's true. That's true. An average team, not an amazing team, but not a terrible team. Mm-hmm. It's not like he was playing the Giants or the Panthers. But Baker Mayfield, like I have said, I would not be surprised. I'm not going to go all the way Super Bowl yet, but I would not be surprised if we see the Buccaneers go far in the playoffs. And by far, I'm saying all the way to a conference championship. Okay. Maybe not winning it, but I would not be surprised at all if we see that. I think that Baker Mayfield is leading that team so well. His offensive weapons, he's not just throwing to Mike Evans. Mm-hmm. He's got Mike Evans, he's got Chris Godwin, and he threw a touchdown pass to I can't remember his name, but to a third, I think a rookie that was just getting there to a point being he's spreading the ball around. The running game with Rachaad White, Rachaad White's he's not Saquon Barkley, he's not Christian McCaffrey, but he's running well, he's showing up, and I just think Baker Mayfield is playing so well. I think he's got a fire within him. I think he's got that underdog feeling, and I think he's dangerous this year. I'm so excited to be watching the Bucs. I've never been a Buccaneers fan, but I'm gonna be tuning into as many games as I can because I'm so excited to see what Baker Mayfield can do. That's my number 1 of the week is just Baker Mayfield.
I like
that name. I'm excited.
100%. I changed up my bottom 10 a little bit, so this one's not on your list, right?
No.
Okay,
no,
great.
No.
So I want that to be the number 1, and if you don't mind, I feel like that deserves it.
I think that deserves it too.
So you can start it out at number 10. This is the inaugural Nice Catch bottom 10, and I'm excited. This is going to be good. It's going to be funny. We have some good stuff in here.
All right. I will start it off with, I'm going to say Packers QB situation because it's not the end of the world. Jordan Love could come back, or he will come back. It's not like he's going to out for the season. It's not like an Aaron Rodgers situation. But it really does shed some shadows on their season. It puts a shadow over the season right now. There were some really high hopes, and those hopes aren't gone. They're not dashed, but there's definitely it's a moment of trial for the Packers right now. So I'm going to put that at 10. It's not the end of the world, but it's definitely, at least for our predictions, kind of throwing a wrench in there.
Mm-hmm. Number 9, I have the Ravens' final 10 seconds of offense.
Yep.
Those last 2 plays, hurt to watch. You have Lamar Jackson missing a wide-open Zay Flowers, and then Isaiah Likely not scoring by a toe.
Literally a toe.
Literally.
That is not a saying. He literally did not score by a toe.
And Chiefs won by a hair right there. Or won by a toe, I guess.
Won by a toe.
But, oh, man. I'm not a Ravens fan. I expected the Ravens to beat the Chiefs that game just because the Chiefs, they lost week 1 last season. I thought the Ravens were going to be a better overall team.
Yeah.
But Mahomes magic.
Pat Mahomes
They won in the end. But Ravens' final 10 seconds of offense. That's what I got for that
I think that's completely fair. Sticking along the same line as my number 10, for number 8, I'm going to go Rams injuries. The Rams are a team that shows so much promise. They've got so much skill, so much, kind of like Baker, that underdog feeling, that drive to really fight. And, I mean, you got almost your whole offensive line gone. And now you got Puka. And then not to mention, you've just lost Aaron Donald. Darnold.
Same thing.
Aaron Donald, arguably one of the best football players to ever put on a helmet, at least on the defensive side. So it's like, but really those injuries are not helping. So that's definitely, I think, number 8 for me is just the injuries that are just tearing the Rams up, because I think that they're a great team. They've got promise, but, man.
That sets them back a lot.
Yeah.
Number 7.
Yeah. 7.
Yeah? Okay, I'm losing my spot here. I have the Brazil turf. I mean, you put $1 billion worth of players on a field that a lot of high school teams wouldn't want to play on. And the whole game in Brazil, I did not like how the NFL handled. One, green isn't supposed to be in that stadium.
No. And
they put 2 green teams in the stadium.
Yeah.
And then this happened with several international games recently. But man, you have to make sure the turf is better. I mean, I don't know, maybe
just as a matter of safety.
Yeah, maybe players prefer Brazil turf to MetLife turf. But
it's possible.
We'll reword that as just the whole Brazil situation as number 7 on the bottom 10.
Yeah. I think my 2 top ones are kind of related. So let's go number 6. It'll be Daniel Jones, just in general.
Yeah.
I mean, at least according to NFL memes, which they said that there were players that were legitimately felt bad playing against Daniel Jones when they were up by so much. I mean, and the amount of money that he's getting paid to not only be mediocre, but just simply not good. He's not playing good. And it's when you have somebody that you thought was going to be your franchise quarterback, and he is literally the laughingstock of the NFL right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just rough.
Very rough.
And then you got such talent like Malik Neighbors, and you just can't get him the ball. It's rough. So yeah, my number 6, I gotta go just Daniel Jones in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that for number. Well, I don't know. Maybe number 6 is a little too low for that, but
I don't know.
Number 5, on a similar level of embarrassment, Florida State. What is going on over there? You're ranked number 10 to start the season. Your last 3 games have all been embarrassing. Mm-hmm. You could beat 63-3, 63-7. I don't remember what the exact score was to Georgia. And then you come back and you get the Alabama transfers and then lose to Georgia Tech. And then you lose again. Oh, I don't even remember who it was that beat them. But you drop out of the top 25 after 2 games. And I don't know. I'm sounding mad. But Florida State deserves this bottom 10, number 5 spot. I don't know what is going on over there. Maybe they'd be better with Jimbo Fisher, but
maybe
I don't know. I don't know if it's on the coaching staff. I think it's just a collective effort of being bad over there.
Yeah. I think these last two are high for me, even over the Daniel Jones situation.
Okay. Bold,
because there was a lot of hype coming into this, and it's week 1, understandably. A lot can change, but there was so much hype coming into this one team and this one player, and I mean, just fell dead. So I'm gonna go at number 4. I'm gonna say Marvin Harrison Jr.
Okay.
I mean, 3 targets, 1 reception for 6 yards?
4 yards.
4 yards. And then when asked about it, Kyler Murray basically, you look up the exact quote, but basically said, I'll try to get him the ball when I can, but it's not my job to just get him the ball. He'll get targets when he gets targets. And I think that, number one, for fantasy managers, maybe that's why I have it so high, is because I had him on fantasy, and it kind of ended my game there. But also, I just think that there was so much hype behind Marvin Harrison, and it's week 1, of course, but man.
Not a good start.
Not a good start. And then, with that statement from Kyler Murray, it almost, I don't want to say seemed intentional, but it was, it didn't seem like a lot of, it wasn't like, it just, that game, we just didn't get him the ball, but, we're going to get him the ball. No, it was, it's not my job to get him the ball. It didn't seem like it almost seemed like there wasn't much confidence behind Marvin Harrison. So, I don't know, maybe I'm looking into that or reading into it too much, but that's a tough situation, and, we'll see how it plays out, but it's going to be interesting, because, was that number 2 pick? Number 3? Somebody traded up.
3 or 4.
Number 3.
I think it was 4.
Okay, number 4 pick in the draft, you get him 1 target or 1 reception. Mm-hmm. It's interesting, especially when you're a team like the Cardinals who needed a receiver. Like, it was very plain that they were going to draft a receiver, and they don't get the receiver the ball.
Yeah,
it's interesting. So that's
they
my
almost
number.
Beat the Bills still.
That's true.
But maybe that open touchdown to Marvin Harrison would have put him at a tie.
Maybe.
So
that's my number 4.
I like it. Number 3, and this is a gracious number 3, is the Carolina Panthers. I was looking at NFL ticket prices, and if the Panthers were that was the most random word slip I've ever had. If the Panthers weren't 12 hours away from where we are, I would go to the Panthers game this weekend. Chargers tickets for as low as $40. Looking at later this season, Buccaneers versus Panthers tickets for as low as $29. Cardinals at Panthers for as low as $28. This is with fees too, so you get the full price on here.
Wait, 28 with fees?
With fees.
Dang.
Because a lot of people was like, it's a $1 ticket, but then there's $30 of fees.
Yeah.
So I have it turned on with fees here to give you all the full view. But everything going on there, you trade your first round pick, who ends up being generational talent, in quotation, Caleb Williams, because we haven't seen it yet, for Bryce Young, who was a good athlete in college, and I do expect him to be a little better this year, but he's won 2 games. He's lost 15 games after barely losing any at Alabama. Mm-hmm. And you give him a better offensive line. You give him better weapons. Jonathan Brooks is going to be back later this season. That'll give him a little boost in the running game. But the Carolina Panthers are not as much as Daniel Jones, but they're a joke this season.
Yeah.
I think Pat McAfee said, how long is it till we see the Carolina Panthers get relegated? But I don't know. Maybe it wasn't a full joke, because this team is looking like the mid-2010 Browns. It's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah.
Can we see an 0-17 Panthers season incoming?
I hope not.
I hope not, for their own sake. Who are they going to beat? Are they going to beat the Falcons? Going to beat the Commanders? Broncos? Well, they already lost to the Saints. Okay. Well, I will say, November 10th, New York Giants versus Carolina Panthers in Germany. Yeah, the fact that the NFL has been giving international games the best, Dolphins. Chiefs Dolphins was in Germany.
Yeah.
Give that to the U.S. fans.
Exactly.
And then it balances out now. So they have Dolphins Chiefs, great game, and they're gonna give them the
Giants Panthers.
The Notre Dame Georgia Tech game is gonna be a lot better than the Giants Panthers game. But if you want to see some must-see TV early Sunday morning on November 10th,
that's what
Daniel Jones. Well, I don't know. Maybe it'll be.
Maybe it'll be a close game. That might be tight.
What's his name?
Drew
Lock versus Andy Darnold.
Andy Darnold.
And wait, no.
Or Danny DeVito. No, not Danny DeVito. Andy DeVito.
Tommy DeVito. What? Why can I not think of his name? Andy Dalton. There we go.
Andy Dalton versus Tommy DeVito. Oh, yep. That would be a good game.
That would be a good game. I'd rather see that.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2.
Number 2. you're talking about generational talent. The Bears offense. The Bears offense have been hyped up all offseason. You get Keenan Allen. You get your generational talent, Caleb Williams. You have DJ Moore. You boost up the running game. And then you score 0 offensive points.
0
offensive points. Every point was scored by defense or special teams, which is great. Defense and special teams, they're good. That gives you some confidence. But that was embarrassing for the offense. That's embarrassing. And I mean, with so much of a hype train behind them. And like I said, it's week 1. There's time to change. There's a lot of time to change, But that is, and it, it's not like you were playing the Chiefs or something. Mm-hmm. You're playing an even game, I would say, right? Titans-Bears. That's a pretty even game. And you scored 0 offensive points. That, for me, that's a big letdown.
Number 2 in the bottom 10 for sure.
Yeah.
And Caleb Williams saying you're not going to be punting much to their 4th-round punter, and he punts 6 times. So he was their best draft pick of this year. Had some great punts. And that game hurt me a lot because
you said he's the best draft pick of their best draft pick of the year.
Maybe. So far he is.
It took me a second to process that joke right there.
But yeah, that game carried emotional weight for me because for so long, since way before the season started, I had held out that the Titans were going to go into Soldier Field, Caleb Williams' debut, and beat the Bears. Mm-hmm. And for so long, it looked like that was going to happen. I texted you during the game, like, hey, look what's happening. Look, guess who guessed that?
Yep.
And then I stopped keeping up with the score at one point, and then, saw a game break because I was watching, I don't know, I probably had, the NFL Game Day on NFL Network on. And then I was like, wait, no, they're actually winning. And, I mean, Brian Callahan, I think, said if they just punted on first down every time, they probably would have won the game.
Yeah.
But that was tough.
Yeah.
Number 1 on the inaugural Nice Catch bottom 10 is the New York Giants general manager. So congratulations. Congratulations. You earned this spot wholeheartedly. You gave Daniel Jones a big extension. And in last season and this season combined, he has given you 2 touchdowns, while the guy you let walk to a divisional rival instead of paying him any money scores 3 touchdowns in his debut.
Yeah.
And your first-round pick is not Marvin Harrison, other wide receiver, Malik Neighbors. Mm-hmm. And he's great, but if you can't get him the ball, then what's the point of having a receiver?
Yeah.
Your defensive line was hyped up, and you get 20-something points scored on you by Sam Darnold. I don't know what's going on over here.
Yeah.
If the Giants don't win more than 3 to 5 games this season, that general manager might be
looking for a new job.
Might be looking for a new job. I don't know. Will we see Drew Lock or Tommy DeVito starting by the end of this season? I would not be surprised to see Daniel Jones as a backup to, someone next season.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones.
It's time to rebuild.
Yeah.
You gotta stop thinking that you got your franchise.
He had 1 good season.
Yeah.
Maybe two good seasons, but Giants GM, I'm sorry. You didn't. Well, I don't know. You kind of do deserve this, but nothing against you. But
nothing against you as a person, but your managing ability on the team.
It's not looking so great.
No.
I'm sorry.
It is indeed not.
Yeah. Daniel Jones. I don't like making fun of players, but oof. Final thing before we stop, before episode 10. Also, I just want to say episode 10, when we started this, I was like, this will be fun. But the fact that we're actually at 10 episodes, hey, this is
a big deal.
This is happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's going good over here.
Very grateful for everybody here listening.
Yeah, thank you, listeners. not in a cheesy way, but like actually.
No, but actually, like literally, thanks for listening. It's just us having fun, us talking about something that we're passionate about, something we enjoy.
For sure.
And y'all are listening, and it's a lot of fun. I'm
yeah.
glad.
I love looking on Spotify for podcasters, looking at all the analytics.
Australia.
Apparently, we have 6 countries represented.
I gotta take a picture of that and show it to my mom.
A bunch of states on here. Only listeners on Earth, though. No other planets.
No Mars listeners.
No listeners on Mars. None of those, aliens listening to our podcast. But let's go with the Super Bowl pick.
Okay.
This one, as I said, my preseason was Texans-Packers. And it's week 1. I don't want to, totally change it. Because the Texans, their game was close. But they did come out with the win. So I'm still saying the Texans are winning it this year. But I'm not throwing the Packers in there anymore. It's hard to come back from a start of a season like this.
Yeah.
And with what we saw this past Monday night, I am putting Texans over 49ers for Super Bowl this season.
Texans 49ers. Okay. I'm deciding how confident I want to be.
As bold as you want, it's week 1. No one's going to remember what we say week 1. Just kidding. That's not why we make hot takes.
No. All right. Okay. I think I'm going to go Chiefs and Buccaneers.
All right. You said it.
Packers is out. Packers. And the 49ers, they're there, but
Can they win in the playoffs?
I think if there's a team that's going to bump them out of the playoffs now, if you take the Packers out of it, it's either the Eagles or the Buccaneers, and I'm going to go Buccaneers. I'm going to say Baker Mayfield comes home with the Super Bowl.
I love that. I love Baker. That would be so much fun.
Yep.
Here we go.
Buccaneers Chiefs. I think this is the year. I think it's like a Matthew Stafford situation with the Rams. I think he's coming in, and I think it's going to be good.
I like it a lot. Hey, it's in writing. Or not in writing.
It's in podcast.
Hey, if there's a transcription of the podcast, it's in writing.
It's in writing. I'm sure we could get that done.
Yeah, I think Spotify does it, or Apple Podcasts. One of them does it.
Yeah. I know Spotify does it with music and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know about podcasts.
I like it. I like the bold take.
Yeah.
We'll see how the Bucks train goes for the rest of the season.
Yeah. I'll be watching.
I'll be watching. Well, thanks for listening to the Nice Catch podcast.
Bye-bye.
If you love football, keep tuning in each episode for our football news and analysis. All the way through the season, playoffs, up to the Super Bowl, and through it all the way back through again. This is the Nice Catch podcast.